and I looked down at my phone and it said Joe Rogan followed you. It was on Instagram, and I was
No,
like, I was
no
like,
way.
I was like, surely not. Surely this must be
A bot or something.
exactly. This must be a bot, or it must be uh, some fan account, like a fan page or something. And so
Mhm.
I opened it up, and it said 19 million followers, and I went, no
Um,
way. Surely he didn't just DM me and ask me to come on his show. And I click messages, and it said, hey man, I loved you on such and such podcast. Would love to have you on my show. And
Amazing.
my whole world just stopped. And totally surreal feeling. And then my sister, who manages my social media, she called me immediately after that, and she said, check your social media right now. And so
This
anyway,
is not a drill.
yeah.
Rogan has messaged you.
So we got my whole family on the phone and told everybody, and everybody was excited, and it was really, really surreal. But yeah, I had no prep time because a
Mhm.
day after that, my buddy was leaving and going back, and then the next day or the day after that was Lauren's graduation. So all of this was like back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
This whole month has been, and so we'll dive into the Rogan stuff, but so we're moving up, and then I have to stop. So we drive everything from San Antonio to East Texas, and then the next day I've got to get in the car and drive back from East Texas back down to just north of San Antonio, where Austin is. Go on Rogan, and I didn't want to tell him that I was in the process of moving, and that, I didn't really know how exactly I was going to get there, whatever. So I just told him, yeah, I'm just living in San Antonio. I'll just drive up. But in reality, I had to drive across the state twice to do it.
Oh,
And I didn't want to be like an inconvenience, or, because he invited me, I think partly because he knew I'm just right down the road. And so I got my own hotel, and which I told my podcaster friend Julian Dory that I got my own hotel, and he was like, "You went on Joe Rogan and bought your own hotel? Good for
too
you,
polite.
man."
That's a very British thing to do. That is
Is
overly
it
polite.
really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
British people are like, no, don't worry, absolutely. I'll pay for myself. I'll pay for you. Like,
Yeah. Well, I would say. Well, I don't know if you how much you call Texas, like Southern Texas is kind of its own thing, but
mhm.
like Southern hospitality, like I think
Okay, yeah.
a lot of people. I don't know. I just don't want to be an inconvenience to anybody. I'm blessed that I get to go on the show, so the least
Yeah.
I can do is get a hotel room.
It's worth
Uh,
it. It's worth it. What an
yeah.
experience.
So yeah, got our own hotel room, did Rogan, walked out feeling like, I just couldn't believe it. And it was quick too. Like, I show up, I'm there for about a couple minutes, I'm signing some stuff. He walks in, all business, like walks up, shakes my hand, gives me a hug, says, "How are you doing?" He's like, "Hey," he's like, hey, lay your stuff over here. You need the bathroom." And then he's dealing with some business stuff, and he walks over to me. He's like, "All right, you ready? Let's go." So we walk in, sit down, starts.
Done.
There's no talking beforehand, not really. And
Yeah.
then once he starts filming, you're just going. And so we went for 3 hours, and then it was like, as soon as it was done, he was back to like businessman tornado mode. Didn't even see him again, and I was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the formula because it's like get the gold on the camera,
Hmm.
get the authentic introductions, get the authentic conversation.
Yeah.
It is a bit weird when you have a conversation and you have like another fake. I can get his process,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It was like he was actually meeting me on camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
really like for real. And do you get any breaks or does it all 3 hours straight?
So I purposely did not drink that much water beforehand, because it's like, the needing to pee usually sets in. So say if it's 3 hours, needing to pee
Yeah,
sets in around hour two.
yeah.
And so I don't, you don't want to go into hour two like holding it. And then
Hmm.
you don't want to be like, hey, can we take a pee break? Because you just killed all the momentum of
Yeah,
the
yeah. Because
conversation.
you get
So
you go on a journey.
yeah, and so I purposely didn't drink that much before I went in so that I wouldn't have to. So no, we didn't take any breaks. We just went 3 hours straight.
You appeared, considering it was your first time and you're like one of the youngest people to ever be on Rogan.
Oh,
Um,
oh my gosh.
yeah, you're like the third youngest ever, right?
Yeah,
or
I
something
forgot about that. Yeah, I'm the 3rd youngest person to ever go on Joe Rogan,
ever.
which is
And
crazy.
it's just crazy. But you seemed so chill. And so, like, I know that if I went on Rogan, I would be so overexcited. I would start talking 100 miles an hour. I wouldn't finish my sentence. I would forget everything I ever knew about ancient history ever. And yeah, you just look really chill, and you were
Oh,
coming across.
you would kill it. You would crush it. I know you would. It's so I went into the conversation. I actually sort of premeditated it. Um, the thing about like me being, yeah, that's freaking crazy. Being like the 3rd youngest person. It's somewhere in there. It's in like the lower 5, and I went into the conversation like. For the last 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this, being the youngest person in this space, um, you know, trying to come in with like a lot of humility and, I'm very thankful, such and such person gave me the opportunity to be on your show. Like, and I think for a long time I was kind of like, the guy with the young kid with a good head on my shoulders, bright future, blah, blah, blah. And, I knew that going into the podcast, I had worked a long time and put in a lot of work to have the opportunity to be able to go on Rogan. Um, and I guess like speaking candidly, I guess I always knew it would happen. I didn't think it would happen so quickly. Like I had thought maybe 3 or 4 years from now, a little bit older, more experienced, I'll have more to say and then I'll go. And then the opportunity gets thrusted on me like 3 or 4 years before I thought it would happen. But I knew that I wanted to go in just being like, uh, as though I should be having this conversation
Yeah,
with
just
Joe,
having a chat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not going in as though Joe is reaching down and helping me and picking me up. It's I'm genuinely interested in talking to him just as much as he's interested in talking to me, and I should be having this conversation with him.
Yeah.
And so, I went in like I went in, I had made that decision that at this point, I wasn't going to come and present myself as though I'm this young person or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just completely myself.
Oh, also, you just to say, like the timing was crazy because you were literally like the week after Zai was, and that was what was
Yeah,
it,
wasn't
about
it?
a week?
Mhm.
And he went on, and I haven't watched all of Zai's. I've seen little clips and highlights, but I think his was pretty wild, and yeah, it was just what a contrast that you got to sort of go back to back with Zahi. So
I know. Yeah, he was I don't know how many people were in between us, maybe like 2 other episodes, but we
mm,
were back to back for Ancient Civilizations episodes. Like I
nice.
followed him up in that conversation. But we only talked about Zahi, I don't know, maybe just like in the first couple of minutes or so. Yeah, it was crazy. I just, it was a blur, and I can't even believe that it happened. And now we're 3 weeks afterwards, and it's like life just continues on as normal.
Yeah.
I had to drive the next day. Well, okay, so I didn't sleep at all that night. Um,
Just wired. What people
yeah,
don't know is you were totally drunk the whole Rogan show.
yeah, yeah.
That's why you were
Yeah.
so cool.
Um, yeah, yeah, and, so, yeah, I didn't sleep at all that night. I slept for probably about 20 minutes.
Whoa.
Legitimately, I slept 20 minutes that night, and so the next day, we were supposed to drive U-Hauls across the country. I just couldn't do it, so we
Yeah.
we we hung out one more day at my in-laws, and then the next day, we drove our U-Hauls from Texas to Georgia, and then the next day, we drove them from Georgia up to our new house, and we in North Carolina, and we unloaded everything, and then my dad came and we unloaded everything, and it's been crazy. So we had 2 or 3 days to get everything unloaded, and then my wife and I, Lauren,
Mm.
uh we flew down to Peru, and we spent a couple weeks in Peru, almost a
Oh,
couple
nice.
weeks.